This is the first clip of the next part of the vlog, so welcome back. If you have not watched the first part of the vlog, I will leave a link up above. So yeah, this is my vlog for the Irish Readathon, which is now in the second half, and I've been enjoying myself immensely. So as you can probably tell, I am on the beach with dogs. I actually only have a little bit of beach because, I don't know if you can tell, the tide is like way in, so yeah, I only have a little bit of beach to walk. But thankfully the dogs swim, so I can throw the ball. Ready? Go. And there they go. Something to keep them quiet and happy, and yeah, hopefully they get the ball now. They're able to get it. So yes, I wanted to check in with some of the updates of the books that I'm reading. So the last time I was talking to you in the other vlog, I was just starting Hearts and Bones by Niamh Mulvey, which was a short story collection, and I have since read that. It only took me about a day to read that, and I really enjoyed it. And yeah, there was only one story that I didn't really love. Most of the stories were like a 4 out of 5 stars for me. And yeah, as I don't read a whole lot of short story collections, but as short story collections go, I really enjoyed it. So I would definitely recommend for people if they wanted to pick up a short story collection. And then I actually finished my audiobook yesterday as well, which was Light Penny Candle by Maeve Binchy. And I really thought this one was going to be a 5 out of 5 stars. It was 5 out of 5 stars up until just the last few chapters, when things just took a turn, or it just felt like it wrapped up in kind of a rushed way. And considering the book is like 800-900 pages long, and if like the ending felt rushed, it was just a bit strange. So yeah, I did really enjoy that one, but which is about two friends, and it's basically like their friendship as children, and how they stay friends, and how they stay friends for most of their lives. We're kind of following them up until they're age 30, and I feel like it actually could have gone on, and yeah, like we could have like kept continuing with them. If like there were some sections that like weren't as drawn out, we probably could have stayed with them for a bit longer. And yeah, the ending was just a little bit like, there was kind of like a sad element to the ending that I didn't really enjoy, and yeah, I just felt like it could have just been better. So yeah, it's like a 4 out of 5 stars for me, and yeah, that's just how it is. At the moment now, I am halfway through the first book of the Country Girls trilogy. I'm reading the omnibus, and yeah, that's what I am currently reading, and I'm really enjoying that. The first time I read it via audiobook, and I think it might have been a slightly abridged version of it. So this is the first time I'm like reading it physically, and there are some parts of it, like I think the start of it I don't think it has a really strong start, but then as you kind of continue, you kind of get to know the characters very well. The main character, Kathleen, her best friend Baba, is a really great character, and she kind of comes really alive on the page, which I really like. And the more you read, the more you kind of get to know them and their friendship, which is a little bit toxic and not particularly the type of friendship you would really want. But yeah, I am really enjoying it, and I'm going to continue that today. So yeah, I think those are all the updates I have to give you. So I'm going to continue on with not really my walk, because I'm kind of stuck in one spot, but getting the dogs to have a run anyway, and to tire them out for the evening. That's the main goal. So yeah, I'm going to continue on with that and check in with you guys later. So we are back in Dublin. As you can see, it is now Tuesday the 21st of March, so yeah, we have 10 days left of the readathon, and yeah, I am really enjoying myself, as I always do. So I wanted to come in and check in about my current reading and how I've been getting on. Rossi is behind me. She is relaxing after her tiring week of
running around on beaches and swimming and splashing and stuff like that. I wanted to check in with my current progress in The Country Girls. As you can see, this is a chunky book. It is almost 700 pages, just under 700 pages, and this is the bind up of the Country Girls trilogy. So I have read The Country Girls, the first book. This was a reread for me. As I mentioned before, I had originally listened to it on audiobook, and I did enjoy it again on a reread, but I will say I think as a reading experience goes, I think I enjoyed it on audiobook. And I think a lot of that has to do with the fact that Edna O'Brien narrated it herself, so she was able to really bring a lot of the ways the characters were supposed to be. One of the things I actually do really love about these books is all the characters that Edna O'Brien creates. They are so vivid and eccentric, and like they just kind of like I think like every single character has specific like personality traits that they're all just very unique, and they all just bounce off the page, and I really like reading them. And yeah, I just really love all the conversations and like the hijinks that are going on. And I wouldn't say this is like completely like a really realistic view of a young girl's life in Ireland, especially with some of the not the carry on that's going on, but like some of the like what I'm just almost finished the second book now, and our character, Kathleen or Kate, she is she is kind of living with a man who's actually married. He's kind of like separated from his wife, and she's living with him, and her father is like really annoyed about this, even though her father wasn't a great father growing up. He's suddenly really concerned about like her, I guess her morality and her soul, because she is living with this married man and like involved with this married man, and keeps kind of trying to come back and take her back to the countryside, and trying to get the local priest and the bishop and stuff to help him save her soul. And yeah, so some of all that is fairly funny, and like I would believe some of it in a certain way. But yeah, I'm really enjoying it, and there's a lot of like innocence in this book as well, especially with Kate and some of the things she's experiencing, like a lot of her fears around like having sex for the first time. And kind of as well as that, she has grown up in quite a hard Catholic upbringing, so now and again she does worry about the state of her soul and needs to go to mass and kind of go to confession and stuff like that. And I have just like this much left of the second book, and then the next bit is the third book, which is Girls in Their Married Bliss. And I actually think we're switching perspective in the third book, and we're following Kate's best friend Baba, who I think she is like one of these like really big characters in the book. And she's a little bit of like, she's Kate's best friend, but she's not necessarily always a really nice character. She does look after Kate now and again, but she also, you kind of think she would push Kate under a bus to save herself, like in a split second. She wouldn't even think about it. She's that kind of character. So you're kind of like, I say she's fun to be around, but I'm not necessarily sure I would want her to be my friend, because I don't think you'd be able to trust her. So I think it's really interesting that I think we're following Baba for the last book. And I think being in Baba's head will be really interesting. So I'm really looking forward to that. I do think in between these two, though, I think I'm going to take a break before before I read Girls in the Married Bliss. I might pick up a couple of other books that I have that I need to read. So I have On Shut by Una Min Kavanagh, which is a non-fiction book I want to pick up. I have that on my library app. And then I also have, I need to read the group book, which I still haven't picked up. So I definitely need to like prioritize that this week and try and read that. And then I also have the Book of Secrets, which is my pick to read a children's book as well. And yeah, so I'll probably finish off The Lonely Girl later, and then I'll be picking up On Shut, and then we'll go from there. And then I'll check in with you guys in a little bit and let you guys know how I'm getting on. Hi guys, it is currently Wednesday the 29th of March, so I have not updated in a few days, so apologies for that. I was away all the weekend as I was actually on a friend's hen weekend, so yeah, I was off celebrating with her and drinking a little bit too much and partying. So yeah, we were doing that instead. So not a whole lot of reading got done. But yeah, I wanted to wrap this up a little bit before Friday, which will be the end of the readathon, which is crazy. Done for another year. Finished a few books, I think, since the last time I spoke to you. So I finished None of This Is Serious on Monday night, I'm gonna say. And I quite enjoyed this. I gave it 3.5 stars. I've talked a little bit about it in my Discord already, in the Discord already, and then I've just put up an Instagram post, so I won't go into too much detail here. But I do think this just, I did find this really interesting in terms of the topics it was covering, very kind of really on the nose topics of things that people are dealing with today, such as, like coming out of college and not being able to find a job for a while, the prospect of emigration being your only chance to kind of live a life that you want to live, kind of the heartbreaking decision that some people have to make to emigrate, friendship issues, toxic relationships, romance problems. It's kind of all dealing with this. I did find that the main character in this was sometimes very, very hard to follow, as she's probably one of the most insecure, self-conscious, yet at the same time self-absorbed people I've ever read a book about, followed. Sometimes she was really, really annoying, but at the same time she was only in her early 20s. She's still kind of trying to figure out who she is, and I could understand some of the reasons why she was the way she was, and she did get some kind of life lessons by the end of the book and realize she had to do a little bit better as well. So yeah, I did enjoy this. I can see why this wouldn't work for a lot of people. I did enjoy the whole point in the start of this book. This thing happens where this crack appears in the sky and people are freaking out about it. They don't know what it is. It's the start of the apocalypse. Is it a climate crisis thing? Is it going to be a big superstorm? Is it people don't know what is going on, and it kind of just stays throughout the entire book that the entire book there just happens to be this big crack in the sky. And I kind of liked how it became just kind of this secondary thing in comparison to all the real things that were happening in Sophie's life, such as friendship and boy problems and things like that. Those were the big issues that she was dealing with, while this crack was at the back of things. And it kind of felt almost a little bit of a metaphor almost for, say, the pandemic, and how even though these massive things can happen, the pandemic, the Ukrainian war, cost of living crisis, these really, really big things that affects every single person. Your real life still, the everyday things in your real life still just kind of trundle on, and you still have these things that are in the big scheme of things are these minor problems, but when they happen they seem really big problems. And I kind of liked how that was kind of covered in this book. I thought it was quite clever. So I did quite enjoy this one. I gave it 3.5 stars, but I know this one didn't work for everyone, and I can't see why. So yeah, for the books I now want to finish before the end of the readathon. So today is Wednesday, so I have 3 days really left to finish these. So I'm gonna finish the last. I'm gonna start and finish the last book in the Country Girls trilogy. This is gonna be my main read for the next 3 nights. So yeah, that is what I'm going to be doing. And then I also still need to pick up my middle grade children's book for the prompt, because I still haven't done that. So I have the Book of Secrets here by Alex Dunn, and I need to read this. This is only 250 pages, and the writing's fairly big, so I'm hoping I'll be able to fly through this as well. I might try and just read a few chapters every night and kind of fly through this one. And then if I have time, I might try and read this book, which is Tawn, the Women's Stories, which is kind of a retelling of some Irish mythological stories, kind of based, I think they're being retold through the women's point of view. And this is a book I got last year, and is one I'm really interested in reading. But I think this would also kind of fall under the Her Storyathon. One of their prompts is to read a book about women from the 1700s or earlier, and this would work for that prompt. So this is why I'm thinking I might try and pick this up before the end of the month, so I can tick off that prompt. This is only literally just 100 pages. So again, if I read a couple of stories every night, I might be able to finish this. So yeah, these are my 3 priorities for the next couple of days. So that's what I'm going to do. guys, it is now the start of April, so I am just here just to wrap up this vlog. I had such a great time as always doing the Irish Readathon with all of you guys, and as well with my co-host Leanne over at Leanne Rose. And yeah, thank you guys so much for watching. Thank you for taking part. We always really appreciate it. I have read some great books as usual, and I didn't get as much 5-star reads or like reads I feel like are going to be like the best of the year for me, which actually normally happens during the Irish Readathon, so I'm a little bit disappointed with that. But I still have read some really great books, a great mix of books as well that I always enjoy, some books that I've had on my shelf for a while as well that I really wanted to read, so I managed to tick off some of those. So yeah, I'm really happy with that. So yeah, I would love to know what you guys read. Have you guys read any books that are either might be your favorites of the year, or books that you've just really enjoyed, books that surprised you? I would love to know. And yeah, here's to another year of the Irish Readathon, and already looking forward to next year. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you guys again next time. Bye.